मेरी पायल बोले गगन गन गन गगन गन गन गगन गन हाथों में पिघलता है लोहा गगन गन ना उम्मीद न कोई लगी मेरा सब कुछ मेरा हौसला गगन गन गन
And that is why it is important. It is very important because it is going to affect everybody. It is going to affect everybody, the men and the women, the children and the old, the rich and the poor, the people in the city and the people in the villages. And not just all of us. This radiation, which was not there 15, 20 years ago, is going to also affect our environment, our birds, our bees, our flowers, our farming. India has the second largest population in the world. China के बाद हमारी जनसंख्या सबसे ज़्यादा है इस दुनिया में, और 65% of them are younger than 30 years old. 65% of them. Here, I want to quote Milind Deoraji. And he said this about 4 or 5 years ago. We wouldn't want that 20 years down the line, we have an entire population of young children, young adults, old, suffering from various health effects due to our negligence, our inaction, or our ignorance. ये उन्होंने तब कहा था.
So we have to be very careful with small kids, pregnant ladies, and especially elder senior citizens because it can cause cancer. This is an awareness campaign. हम इस लोगों को, सिटीजन को, सबको जागरूक करना चाहते हैं, उनको इन्फॉर्मेशन देना चाहते हैं. ये जो रेडिएशन आज बच्चे जो छोटे छोटे गैजेट्स जो वाईफाई पे चलते हैं, हाथ में लेके घूमते हैं, उसमें इतना हाई रेडिएशन है. बच्चे, प्रेग्नेंट लेडीज एंड सीनियर सिटीजन, इनका इम्यून लेवल बहुत लो होता है, जिसके वजह से they can easily get affected.
या 20 घंटे घर में रहते हैं. That exposure, day in and day out, day in and day out, day in and day out, is that good for you? That is what we are asking, we are questioning. And जब आप बोलते हैं कि 450 what is that milliwatts per square meter is safe, I want to ask, how do you know it is safe? How do you really know it's safe? Because at every point and over what period of time? Over my 10 years lifetime?
And that is for 900 megahertz, not for 2300. 2300, the norm is 1000 milliwatts.
Acha, oh yes, sorry. This is a
technical thing, sorry, no,
yeah,
I have interrupted.
I don't know if we all are understanding technical thing. मेरे लिए भी थोड़ा difficult होता है. But basically what we are saying, we are concerned is, are there any studies on what these microwave, I'll say this 4G technology or this 3G, even 3G, I'm asking 3G actually first. What is the effect of all this radiation on children, on pregnant ladies, on older people, on people who are not in the best of health? उन पर क्या असर होता है? Can you clearly give us proof of no harm? Not no proof of harm. Not no proof of harm, but give us proof of no harm. फिर आप हमारे घर के आगे लगा दीजिए, विंडो पे लगा दीजिए, we don't mind.
And Dr. Sharma has been leading the government for on a number of issues for a number of years, and now has been the coordinator and chief writer of the interministerial report from the Indian government, Interministerial Telecom Health Education. And that report in 2012 led to the lowering of emissions from towers to 90% lower than their current standards, and also advised that children's exposure be reduced. And he has been championing the public health basis for those recommendations for years. So it's a great honor for me to introduce Dr. Sharma to you today.
Now, so far the main public concern in my country is that these are the cell phone towers which are mushrooming in the city. These are macro cell phone tower, and one of the most important thing which we are facing, that we are sharing the antennas. So the levels of the radiations are very high. That is a great concern to me and to my people. And I'm putting pressure, collecting all this data to put to the industry that this is wrong. We have to separate it. We have to remove the macro cell phone tower from the city and go out and put the micro or pico or femto cell phone tower which are being used in other part of the world. You look, these are these cell phones which are being used, they're mushrooming like anything. One of the important concerns because look at this, one of these antenna, in front of that there is a building, and we noticed this was in newspaper, and there are a lot of problems both in the print media and electronic media. The 6 cancer cases were reported on 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th and 10th floor only, not on the top and not on the bottom. And there was a great concern raised by that. And because of that, immediately the government has to find out and release my guidelines, which will be submitted in 2010. So these are, but one important thing which I noticed in my country, and when I collected the literature, there is a disconnect between the engineers, the industry, the public, and the biomedical scientists. And why it is so? Because of this publication which I found in 2006. Industry-funded research, 71% published data indicate there is no effect. Where the public funded, the 63% studies say there is impact. So the whole world is divided. Therefore, I always in my country see that any study which is, I'm sorry to use this word, any study in my country which is funded by private agency, I am not going to accept it. The study has to be, I told to my government that if we want to answer or find the solution for this problem, we have to fund it. And therefore, I think the whole world is, because if you go to the industry show number of data, a list of data where there's no effect. So this is the main problem which I noticed. So in the end, I conclude that the authorities should accept the fact that the RFR emitted from cell phone and cell phone tower has got a biological effect, and need to conduct comprehensive multidisciplinary prospective long-term cohort study in different population in different countries, and based on these results, each country should develop health-based precautionary guidelines to protect their population. But till these results are available, authorities should issue appropriate advisory for people so that the people can be saved from adverse health effects of these radiation, if any. Thank you very much for patient care.